Alright, welcome to the third part of the Gears 5 DLC here. We're making good headway, but we gotta keep moving.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, even Keegan's saying it.
I mean, you know, again, it's good banter, honestly, and, like, Keegan's there to call him out when he goes too far with it. Which is, again, more than the characters in the main campaign did, because they were blind for so long with no moderation whatsoever.
I swear I searched for the other two's voice actors, but I think I already forgot about them. Let me check quickly.
I believe you found them, but I don't recall their names
I found them.
You told me that the girl was voiced by RC.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I don't know about the Celtic guy.
It's
Trevor Deval. There you go. Yeah, sorry.
I think my issue, Joe, but unlike Baird, Baird sometimes will do his usual complaining bit here and there, but that's about it. He will just do it like it's an on and off thing. Whereas Mac just does it all the time. Forgot these first couple chapters. Like it's a bit too. It can depend on how tolerant you are to it.
I guess the idea, Jova, is do you want a punch-out game where you fight only Aaron Ryan or not? I guess that's answered it.
I guess I'm just not really seeing or hearing it much. Like, yeah, okay, I get it that he's complained a lot, but I don't feel like he's been complaining constantly enough for it to be annoying. Like, compare this to the main campaign in Gears 5. The characters there are definitely always whining. And sure, they're technically doing something about it, but whining is pretty much their default. And with little to no reason, because they otherwise handle stuff just fine. With Mac, though, I can get it. He's a civilian, thrown into a crappy situation, and I don't feel like he's complaining nearly enough for it to feel unwarranted. And at least he actually is useful and does do useful things along the way. Again, unlike the Gears 5 campaign, where you could arguably just have had Kate do everything because, well, except for maybe some cutscenes, Dell wasn't really that useful.
That's the thing, though. They're in a war. They should expect that.
Also, I argue that at least so far, Mac has been throwing amongst these complaints of legitimate snark. You know, in a sense that he just does it for the lols. You know. So I get the idea that it's not always 1% just complaining for the sake of it.
That too, yeah. Again, with Gears 5, the script might as well be just putting here needless complaining for 75%, actual good scenes for about 5%, which leaves about 20% for people being sad, crying over this and that.
Which category do you fall in?
I'm talking about the characters, Dej.
I know.
I'm not one of the characters there. I have more of a soul.
Well, you describe percentage of enjoyment, of the enjoyment of the scenes.
Okay. Well, I guess I enjoy the 5% of actual decent and good scenes, and I won't deny. And there are some good and decent scenes in Gears 5. Again, the way that Marcus has to come for JD if you did pick Dell, Marcus's reaction to JD's death, regardless of the fact of how crap either one of those deaths is, a few lines here and there, and I feel like there was some other scene I did like.
Yes, Iris and Baird. That was the best scene in the game.
Also, Cole throwing a motorcycle to the Swarmac.
Oh yeah. Pretty much any scene with Cole was definitely a massive help as well. Like, yeah, that's one thing I'll give Gears 5. It definitely handled Cole better than Gears of War Judgment did.
Which is not hard.
Like, Cole is actually Cole, and every scene he's in is cool. And hey, now we even get to see more of his family in this DLC as well. So,
specifically his daughter, yes.
Kind of weird that they don't ever mention his daughter in the main Gears games.
Well, in the main Gears games, Jova, he only has a daughter past 3.
This is kind of like Mortal Kombat X while the new generation happened in between games.
Well, yeah, I mean, but why not even mention her? Heck, I'm almost surprised that she wasn't part of the main
Well,
cast.
Cole is
Now,
barely
granted-
in 4 and 5 though, so it wouldn't really have and the few moments he does show up in 4 and 5 don't really call for it.
Yes, but remember, the newest Gears games are about this newer generation or whatnot.
Maybe we'll see her in 6 as a replacement of the team for the one who died.
Possibly.
Goddamn cog.
And even if she does factor heavily into the Hivebusters comic, they could
Okay.
easily just have her be a canon foreigner.
Okay. I know that it was probably just an intentional on part of a voice actor, but when he mentioned the word cog, it sounded like something else.
This is another problem I have with Mac. Like he's constantly disobeying obeying Keegan's orders.
I
No
guess this is
reason.
supposed to be.
He was actually making a plan up, but he just decided to say fuck all of you and
Leave
throw a bomb in them when they weren't ready for it.
I'm guessing this is sort of part of the transition on how these guys become a better unit because
Because
They
we are
are-
not.
Oh yeah.
technically-
That's imagine telling that story. This is the story of how we became a great unit. One of our colleagues was an arsehole that nearly got us all killed.
Well, okay, to be fair, that is sort of a classic
Oh, I meant
sort of
Terrence.
a character arc, a transition, where you go from people who are practically at each other's throats to eventually people who become true brother in arms soon. Like,
Oh.
Might as well
Dej,
slit at each other's throats. Mac might as well slit their throats himself.
Also, Dej, I don't want to know whatever you and Terrence did.
I think
last summer.
that is definitely what they're going for, Joe. Like I said before, my issue is that the transition that you even mentioned is not as smooth as I wish. I'll just say that for now. I'll get into more detail when we actually get to it.
I do love the mission description though. Get the hell out.
Yes.
So it's to the point.
So Dwebs, speaking of that, Dwebs, why don't you describe your overall impressions on the gameplay, since your thoughts on the story?
Working on everything.
It's fine overall. It's nothing I haven't seen before in a game like this. It just took a bit of time for me to get used to the controls, but again, for something I've barely played, that's nothing new.
We're gonna make it.
All right then.
Would you say it's good and accessible, and the way
Yeah.
the co-op works is definitely engineered well?
Yeah. I just wish to say
Okay.
slip in the netcode.
I have to check. Is the composer still Steve Jablonski?
No, Steve Jablonski
No,
hasn't
it's
composed since
Ramen
Free Trail.
Sorry, no, whatever. The composer of 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Ramen
Djwadi.
Djwadi.
Is he still the same?
I think so. Yes. Why?
Because even the energy of the score is completely different from the one of
Well,
the
Yeah.
okay. In that case, I'll wait till the credits so we can check to make
Let me
sure.
see, the Wikipedia article mentions it.
Okay. Even if he is the same, though, it's like me and Teal
Well,
have been
apparently
saying,
it's a different composer. Apparently, it's a guy named Adam Latskiwa.
There you go. then.
Sorry, I mispronounced it.
well,
Latsiwaka.
Can you just type it in, only so
Yeah.
I can search what he has done and not so much for pronunciation?
Personally,
I guess I'll give him credit in this case that they chose a good guy for the. That is funny. That they chose a good composer to also bring back the energy of Gears as well.
Oh, great! It's like a rapid.
This is an-
what's the name?
this is-
the jungle cruising on Disneyland, just on lava.
this is definitely an improvement
The
over.
reference Spy Kids 3, actually, where they literally surf on lava.
Except this seems fun.
This is definitely an improvement over Ramen's work, but I still miss Steve Jablonski, honestly.
So we're still
Anyway,
Sylvester Stallone then.
Anyway, so Dej and Sure, it sounds like you guys aren't fans of Spy Kids 3.
It's terrible.
I mean,
no, wait. Let me put it like this. I can have fun with it, but as the finale of the original trilogy, it's kind of weak.
All right, might as well talk
I just saw
about.
that in theaters
Yes,
with the 3D
Pedro?
glass.
Might as well talk about this set piece. This set piece, as you can see, we're platforming lava, and we have to constantly tear down any locusts that might show up in the. And there you go.
Yeah.
See, exactly.
On
The
its
only.
own- okay,
Wait,
on-
do you
on-
also have to change your position in order to keep them
Yeah.
balanced?
Yeah.
to make sure you don't get hit and don't get hit by the lava. Okay, on
Again,
its own,
reinforcing the
it's not
teamwork component.
okay. On its own, it's not a bad idea for a set piece, but it just goes on for fucking ever.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's fine. However, it does overstay its welcome, in my opinion.
This looks like a Mario Party mini.
Because this set piece is actually going to go on for a while, actually. I mean, it's one of those cases where, okay, you had it good, but at the same time, like, know when to move on to the next one. Like, it's one of those cases where the set piece overstays its welcome a bit.
That said, back to giving them credit, though, again, this is a nice return to form for having interesting and unique set pieces in this regard.
Especially involving what type of cover you get.
Like, okay, aside from the motorcycles in Gears 4, I don't think we've ever really had a set piece as, you know...
Okay, the closest thing Java that Gears 4 introduced also was, for example, the retractable covers thanks to the initial CD, thanks to the DB's intervention, but also the pods that the Swarm uses, meaning that it's a highly destructible cover, and you have to decide to blow it up or not to see if there is a surprise like a Kinder Egg.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those cases where, no, that's the thing, Jova. That's the main reason why Gears 5's main campaign is so unmemorable, because there's no set pieces whatsoever. Yeah, there's big boss battles, but there's no set pieces. I mean, there's nothing like the truck set piece in Gears 3, or like you said, the motorcycle sequence in Gears 4. Like, I don't get where are the action set pieces?
Yeah.
Anyway,
again,
sorry, go on.
that is something that this DLC is actually providing us more so of. Go on to you.
Anyway, there you go. Adam Lastivka, I guess that's the pronunciation.
Apparently, it's pronounced Lastuka.
Thank you. He's been mostly doing TV stuff ever since the end of the 2000s, and this is his only only video game role.
So,
but I don't recognize any of the other TV series that he's worked on. But he's very prolific, so I will say that.
Again, I mean, I'll give him this. Like, he's doing a good job with this soundtrack. I mean, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother comparing it to Gears 5 and 4 because that's not even fair. It's not.
Okay, these Disneyland ride is getting worse.
I mean, I
want a refund.
You see, this is why I don't like going to Animal Kingdom.
I don't dislike Raman. I don't dislike Raman Djawadi. I actually really like his score for the Person of Interest TV show. I just don't think.
Wait. He does the Person of Interest TV show?
Yes, not the theme song. The theme song was composed by J.J. Abrams. But he does the background music in the episodes themselves. Well, J.J. Abrams was one of the executive producers. He helped Nolan get that that show off the.
Plus, he's an occasional composer.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Weird thing though, for him to go from Person of Interest to Gears of War.
I can kind of see the idea. I just don't think he's good at.
It's the same thought process, but got someone like Bear McCreary to compose for Dark Void after Battlestar Galactica.
I can come up with a better example. Mick Gordon did the soundtrack for Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Box.
I think the issue is that Ryman is a composer who's usually more restrained with his scores. Compared to something like Steve Jobs, whereas this series has always been known back in the Epic Games era for having bombastic soundtracks. So to suddenly have Gears 4 and 5's main campaign have soundtracks that do barely anything to even make their presence noticed, it's just off. This is not the kind of series that demands a subtle soundtrack. Like, go all out, go full bombastic, like Steve Jablonsky did in the original trilogy.
Also,
two and three specifically.
Also, in terms of JJ,
sorry, go on.
In terms of J.J. Abrams stuff, he also composed the theme tunes for Alias and Lost and Fringe and so on.
There you go. Now we have to push this rock. Yeah,
you were saying, Tia?
Hold on. Of course, blow shit up.
Well, to be fair, this is actually a good idea, so might as well. Why not?
To come to think of it, Mac does look a bit like the character featured in the trailers for Sunset Overdrive.
He does, but yeah, this is actually what I was talking about. So throughout this entire sequence, the game comes up with all the times just to have the platform stop, so that you have to stay a couple minutes killing enemies, or even doing that thing with the rock. The river thing goes on for a bit longer than it needs to. It probably could have been over by this point. We already
You
get.
see what you mean? Like, I mean, it's a cool set piece, but it is a case where I get the feeling that the devs were so proud of this cool set piece that they really
wanted to milk every squeeze of lava juice from it. But anyway,
Also, I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me of the
Oh,
river.
I know this one. Hold on, Jova. I know this one. Shoot the tree.
really?
I mean, hey, whatever works.
What did the tree do?
Basically,
Life.
it's blocking our path, Shiroi.
Trees are very scary. You'll learn that someday.
But oh my god, Deji was right. Mick Gordon composed for a long time for a bunch of licensed games, including the Last Airbender movie video game. Oh my god. I don't
Like
even
everyone
know
needs
what-
to start somewhere in this to get a
And
career.
again, it was the Xbox One Killer Instinct game's breakout title for it in terms of music.
Oh,
Damn.
hooray! Ugh, that's
Well,
I mean, the Killer Instinct is considered to be a good game, though.
not just that, it has an absolute fantastic soundtrack. To give you an idea, Mick Gordon, if you don't know, Mick Gordon is a composer that at least ever since he decides to, super commit to what is contracted to do. To give an idea, for that Killer Instinct game, he has been asked to compose the theme of Spinal. So in case you don't know, a skeleton pirate character. So what does he do? He includes a fucking instrument done that is a flute made of human bone.
beautiful.
That is,
And that's just one example.
He's
Like I said,
dedicated to his art.
the entire soundtrack is absolutely bangers.
Yeah, and yes, the tree's not burned yet.
I wasn't trying to imply that it was a bad thing. It was more like I appreciate
Out
the play.
there more than anything, yeah.
Basically, me and Dwayne.
Surely at some specific point.
No, that's the thing, Tail. Remember, me and Dwibs are doing this blind, so whenever there's no enemies to kill, we just shoot the tree because we are not entirely sure if we're supposed to
Yeah,
shoot it.
that's what I mean. Are you supposed to shoot the tree in a specific point?
No, we're not. It's just that, remember, me and Dwibs are playing this blind, so whenever there's no enemies in the vicinity, we just kind of, I don't know, maybe this will
You're
help.
not supposed to shoot the tree.
No.
Yeah.
It's been going on for about like 10 minutes now, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is this set piece is overstaying its welcome at this point.
I think it's like
I'm
Pedro
just like,
said,
get
but you
on
need
with
to
it, for
do-
fuck's sake.
It's more
Yeah,
the-
it's been 8 minutes.
It's
but-
more of a pacing thing. If the stop and go things were actually faster, in a sense that you actually float a bit faster and you have to react, accordingly, I guess it would have been a bit better to just make it go wrong, go on for a bit longer. The problem is that since when you're actually moving, you're still relatively slow. I guess that's a thing that ruining the enjoyment.
It's more so the fact that, again, too, like the set piece is good, but it goes on for longer than it needs to. It's just that like the developers, like Jova said, probably felt a bit too proud of this.
I think what's also a bit of a detriment is the fact that they do literally halt you until you've cleared all the enemies. And granted, that's not inherently a bad thing. It's a typical structure.
Yeah, this
But for a
is
set
very
piece
common.
But I feel like a set piece like this would work better with constant movement. So, like,
there we
certain
go.
there we go.
Oh, see, even he's saying it. See, like
Oh, now you have to shoot it.
it's probably not a good idea. It's probably not a good thing that even the characters are saying that this is taking too long.
Like Sonic.
okay.
How long is this gonna go on?
But okay. Allow me to explain. I feel like a set piece of this works best when there's constant movement along the way. Yeah, okay, now you get halting it at some places, but in that case, make it so that you have to frantically shoot the trees or the boundaries or whatnot in order to get through quicker, otherwise death will come more your way.
Just make it
For
last
example-
5 minutes.
Okay, let me put it like this. A good comparison is War for Cybertron. where you play as the Decepticons getting chased by Omega Supreme. You have to constantly move your butt around, otherwise he will eventually kill you. And it's constant movement, which is very good with high-octane action here and there. This feels like something that's harkening to high-octane action, but has those weird pauses here and there. Also, a little helicopter.
Yeah, reinforcements have arrived.
Nice.
And we're almost clear near the coast at least, so hopefully we'll be able to actually get out.
Yeah, this is like
Yes, Dej?
video. This is like a half video.
There you go.
Well, not half. Like,
Oh, of course, a lava
Good.
wall.
Of course, it's a fucking always a fucking waterfall.
Even with
And
lava.
leap.
There you go.
There we are, it's finally over.
Again, it's a good set piece overall, but I do feel like they could have done better.
Congratulations, team, you fucked up.
That wasn't the mission. That's your decision.
Well, I think we can all agree the mission was a failure.
Yep.
Not if we uncovered new data. Anything?
Drones, juvies, roasted them. Heavier swarm.
Again, remember, like, this is because of the online connection.
Maybe.
Yeah.
A few canisters of that
It is kind of a weird thing that even the cutscenes can get affected by it.
It's probably poor coding on part of this, because it shouldn't really happen. Like, during these bits, the game should just pause its online searching.
Definitely, yeah.
My gran used to tell me stories about her people. How the young men and women would travel the ocean to face a god. It was their rite of passage. If anyone knows something about what we saw on the beach...
Oh, I guess she's supposed to be this planet's equivalent to Hawaiian.
I guess.
Basically, yeah.
Hannah, you prep for field work. I want you there.
Hawaiian or Samoan.
I'm on it.
Well, one of the two, I don't know. It doesn't really matter anyway.
It's also one of the advantages of having a original
Alright,
planet do not steal kind of setting.
Okay, Pedro, is this a bit where me and you were starting to have those really bad connection problems?
Yes, yes, it's gonna start around this bit, yes. Basically, Dweebs is, this is the point where Dweebs' connection really started shitting the bed, basically.
What's the plan with the Titan, Hannah?
So at some point after this, Pedro's just going to do the rest of this solo.
It's weird because, and I will be showing this myself as well. When me and Dweebs did Gears of War 3 online, it was fine, and when we played It Takes Two, it was also, the connection was just fine. So I really have to wonder if the coalition is not very good at this whole online multi-coding thing.
Also depends if they have dedicated servers for that.
Or, let's not forget the other option, they optimize this best for the Xbox Series X, but not so much for the Xbox One as well.
Well, that's not
Or the Series S for that matter.
That's not really a good look either, if you ask me.
Oh, well, okay, Dweebs. You had the Series S, but Pedro still had the original Xbox One.
Well, Dweebs, remind me, like, were you experiencing online lag on your end as well?
A bit, yeah.
Well, there you go then.
Well, okay. My point is like, well, okay, the connection is two ways though. So obviously, if one isn't as powerful as the other, there's a chance that could.
That also depends, Jova. The host tends to have a bit more baggage, you know. So in this case, it was Pedro because he was the one who started the game.
Mm-hmm.
That as well, yes.
Again, like, but that's the thing, Teo. Like I said, I was the host in when me and the Gears 3 privately, and I was also the host when we did It Takes Two, and those sessions went off without a hitch. So
To be fair, It Takes Two. We were playing it off our PS5s.
that shouldn't really. Does that make a difference specifically? I mean,
they might use different types of servers because associated with different companies.
Okay. Gears of War 3, a game from the same franchise, and that game's online still works really well from me and this experience. To be honest with you.
I'm guessing maybe that one was better optimized for both of the systems you're using. Again, you yourself have said that there's a possibility that this game was not as optimized to the Xbox One as it could have, which means that if it was affecting so much as just one of you guys, you'd both be experiencing those.
Like with Gears 3, at least you had the same type
Well,
of frame rate.
I can tell you, Joe, that Ghost of Tsushima Legends works just peachy both on my PS4 and my PS5. And when me and Teo did a session of our own, we didn't really have any issues. So
I think in that
like
case,
said,
though, it was
still different
optimized for both of them.
Also, different company type of type attached to the servers. Like, if it's connected also to the problem instead to the multiplayer that a couple of people are experiencing in regards to Gears 5, particularly.
You any relation to the coal trade?
Right. Because every coal is related to a
remember, his full name is
Celebrity's problem.
Remember, his full name is August.
I love this in modern games.
No, it's okay.
So now we have 4 members as opposed to just the 3. Neat.
Fearsome Mask.
I get the idea that Anna is not really suited for combat.
No, she's just here to help us out and stuff. But
yeah, she's the scientist on the field.
I was actually gonna ask, does Zana also get a special ability?
No. She's just
she's not.
I guess Anna is like the guest star, guest party member.
She's non-playable. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what everyone sees in my father. I wanted to be just like him.
Of course.
People find it hard to believe, but at home, the coal train is a quiet man.
So basically, they're doing the same thing in between Jax and Jackie from Mortal Kombat 10. Basically,
it's also been reflective of what he did at the beginning of 3, where it's pretty much confirmed that the boisterous things that he does on the battlefield is mostly both for show, for probably raising morale to the other, but also for boosting his own confidence.
You mentioned your degrees back when we first met.
It's weird. I can't tell if you wanted to read that or if you wanted us to listen to what the folks were saying, Pedro.
Probably the latter.
On the ultimate upgrade. Nice.
War.
Sports. And I still don't talk about thrashball.
Of course.
Cute.
How'd you meet Hoffman?
Through Dad. Hoffman had the idea for this special project after what happened at New Hope. He got his hands on the New Hope toxin, but needed a specialist to do anything with it.
Actually, I haven't checked who voices Anna. Let me see.
Well, congratulations, Anna. You're pretty much doing what I assume most people are now working on because the world's in danger again.
Man, when I saw that Tiki mask, I was thinking of the Wrath of Cortex.
Hey, that's one thing we can agree with him on, hating the First Minister.
I thought you were going to say hating Wrath of Cortex.
I haven't played it yet, so yes, I have no opinion.
Fearsome Grimaces repatriates the world, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, everybody, in the next part, Dwebs' connection completely shits all over itself, and I have to continue solo. So...
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Goodbye from me then.
See ya.